Thank you so much for joining us. I live about half an hour from here, and when I left, well, probably about an hour ago, I looked out and I thought, oh no, we're going to take the hit on the audience because this weather is atrocious. But look, you all came out in the absolutely abysmal, wet and sleety stuff that's coming out, well, down from the sky. So thank you so much for joining us. My name's Kate Quilton. I'll introduce you to everyone here. I'm going to start at this end with our executive producer. This is Emma Kingsman-Lloyd.
Hello.
Who has been with Grantchester right from the very beginning.
Yep.
Daisy Coulam, creator and writer. Al Weaver, who plays Leonard Finch. Rishi Nair, who plays Alphy Kottaram. And Robson Green, who plays Geordie Keating. I think we've got a lot of fans in the audience, which is great, because we are going to chat probably for about an hour, and then we've got half an hour for questions from the audience. So definitely, be curious. I mean, we want to hear those questions at the end, and we will come to you in about an hour. But onwards. These guys are all really lively, so this is going to be
as you can tell,
so much fun. It was an absolute hoot in the room upstairs a minute ago, and I said to all of them just a minute ago, who wants to talk first? And there was a resounding, Robson was definitely the loudest with this. He said, well, we're all here because of Daisy, so we should start with Daisy.
cheers.
So, Daisy, I just want to say at the top, what an absolute triumph, right?
Thanks.
This show has been rolling since 2014. And that is no mean feat. I've worked in telly for a long time, 20 years. And for a show to hit 10 years, it's really rare. It's really, really, really rare. And at a broadcaster, you absolutely just salute any programme that ever makes 10 years. And they're so rare. I used to work in commissioning at 4, and I could probably name pretty much on 2 hands over the last 15 years the shows that have lasted 10 years. So, first of all, big round of applause for making... I want to know how it all started. Ooh. And also, did you foresee it going...
Never.
...as brilliantly and long as it has?
No. So it started... You were there, right? Actually, no, you weren't there at the very beginning. No, it started with the book, James Runcie's book, which Diedrich Santa, the exec producer, gave me, and I read... in like a train journey, and was like, this is so good. I love it so much. I can see the world. I love it. That was in we got the green light when I was on my honeymoon in Costa Rica. 2000.
Lovely location.
Yeah, that was good, 2013. So there was a couple of years before that, writing on the first scripts, and then Emma came on board, and then you were the last one.
Yeah. It has been an extraordinary journey, but to think the success, the 11 years I don't think was in the planning at all. Yeah. And I don't know if you know this, but I was never meant to be in this series. I was doing another show, as Emma knows. I was working in Thailand. I was playing a lieutenant colonel in the Special Forces for reasons best known to them. In a thing called Strike Back. I'm on set, and it was this big journey. I'm filming with Michelle Yeoh. It was incredible, and there's a terrible accident on set, and they closed the shoot down, and they're implementing a thing called force majeure, which means you're not going to be paid. I'm straight onto the agent, and he said, there's this... I said, you've got to get me another job. You've got to get me another job. I need the money. And he went, there's this thing called Grantchester, and I'm in Thailand, and he sent me it. And I read it, and they said it was based on the book. So I started reading the books immediately in Thailand, in Bangkok. And I read them, and there's this character, a vicar called Sidney Chambers, and this character called Geordie Keating, who, by description, is no stranger to the sweet trolley. He drinks for Britain. He has a certain penchant for ale and whiskey and smokes 80 a day. And I'm in the Special Forces, looking at tanned and looking at a picture of health. Anyway, we did a thing called Skype. If you're old enough to remember Skype, it's a communication system that's powered by coal. And I had a chat with Emma and Harry Bradbeer, and we just talked about the show and what what came off the page immediately was comfort. And I think that's what everybody has found watching Grantchester, comfort. People call it a cozy crime drama, but I don't think there's anything cozy about crime. But there is something very cozy about this gallery of likable characters that was deeply apparent on the page from day one. And when I was reading with Emma and Harry on Skype, they said, okay, so there was two things. James Norton was up for the same part. So when James auditioned, they said, what can you bring to this inquisitive member of the clergy in Cambridge? To which James Norton replied, I've got a first in theology from Cambridge.
Wow.
Yeah. And they said, Robson, what can you bring to Geordie Keating? I went, a magnifying glass. That's all I had. I said, this is all you got. Anyway, but that central engine, that central relationship, was all there, and you know, I read the book. It's called what was that first book called? Shadow of Death. And yeah, so not only are these people in the shadow of death, they're in the shadow of World War II. They're in the shadow of homosexuality is illegal. The death penalty still exists. They're in the shadow of women's chances to get a job were incredibly limited. So you had all these issues. That's what all in the shadow of. But you really liked everybody. And that's what was deeply apparent in that first script. So yeah, this and the 11 years, I was never meant to be in it. So thank goodness there was a terrible accident on strike.
Yeah, and what Robson didn't know was obviously when we were first kind of, thinking about how we were going to shape the series, and we were talking to ITV about kind of who was going to play the lead roles, and we were looking at James and. It was, everyone was kind of like, who can play Geordie Keating? And it was like, well, there is only one actor. There genuinely is. And Harry Bradbeer, who was the first director, and Diedrich and I and Daisy were like, well, it has to be Robson Green. It has to be Robson Green. And all we kept hearing was Robson's not free. And we were like, oh, okay. So then you start doing the lists of other actors, and it's like, oh, they were amazing actors, amazing list of people that the casting team put together. And it was like, they're just not right. It's just nobody is going to be right for this role. And then we got the news from Robson's agent that he might be free after all. And so me and Harry on this Skype in this tiny office. Yeah. Literally, Robson was like this big. And Harry and we were practically holding hands going, we mustn't be too keen. We mustn't be too keen. And I'm like, so what do you think of it, Robson? But it was brilliant. And Robson kind of landed back from Thailand pretty much the day before we started filming. It was so close to when we started filming. Went straight into costume and makeup, found the look for Geordie, which was incredible. Arrived on set. Honestly, I have never seen a man so brown. I mean, honestly, the tan was incredible. And we were like, did people like Geordie? He does a lot of gardening. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. And then him and James stood together doing the first scene, just stood on set. And we were behind the monitors, and it was like, is this going to work? How are they going to get on? Well, what's chemistry going to be like? And it was instant. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was incredible.
So they hadn't met before you shot?
No.
Right. Oh, wow.
No, Robson missed the read-through. We had somebody read in as Geordie, because he was still away. So we didn't even know. We hadn't even been at the table read to
like
know.
A true rock star.
Yeah, total rock star. Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow, brilliant. Do you know what? We should watch a clip to get us into the mood. How brilliant is that? What an introduction. I love that clip. So I want to hear,
That was the first scene that I ever filmed, by the way.
Oh, really?
That was the first scene on my first day on Grantchester. So nervous, coming onto set, being the new kid, and having to punch Robson Green in the face. I was like, if I mess this up and break his nose, I'm going to get my P45 on my first day.
What is it like for you, Rishi, stepping into a show like this, very established, and taking on the baton of Vicar?
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was season 9 that I joined, so these guys have been doing it for 8 years already. So they were, already a family. They're very established. The show was very successful. And so you get the job and you're just super excited and you're super happy. And then you start thinking about it and thinking about it, and you're like, oh God, don't cancel this show single-handedly after one season. And you come in and you're the new kid at school. But, you know, these guys, not even my first week, within the first couple of days, they were so welcoming, really like welcomed me with open arms. And it felt like I just kind of got a big hug of everyone. And within the first week, I immediately felt like I was part of the family. And that's a testament to these guys and all the crew and everyone. It's a show that a lot of the crew come back. You know, a lot of our crew come back every year. And I think that shows that's a really enjoyable place to work. It's a really fun place to be, and it's just a joy to work with everyone there, yeah.
So for you and Robson, I mean, that relationship is absolutely central. How do you go about casting in like our third vicar? Is there some kind of chemistry check? I mean,
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Okay, tell me about it.
Yeah,
How was it?
So we obviously, you know, kind of you're looking at kind of casting lists, and then you whittled it down to the kind of the last couple of guys, and they come in and, you know, do a lot of reads. And, you know, when James left and Tom came in, we were worried. It was like, oh, can lightning strike twice, basically? And it did. And there was a brilliant moment when Robson came in to read, and he did this brilliant look to Tom, and we were like, oh yeah, this is going to work. This is going to work. Mm-hmm. And then obviously with Rishi, it was like, can we do it again? Can we actually get away with this? And Rishi's auditions were just absolutely fantastic. And we were like, he's absolutely brilliant. And Robson was brilliant and came in and did, read with him. And again, the minute those two were in a room together, it was just...
But even before we were in the room, I instinctively knew Rishi was going to get it. I was talking to other actors who were superb.
It was actually you that got it.
It was me and Rishi. I'm a huge Newcastle United fan. He's a Man U fan. That's all we talked about. And actually, what we talked about, we put into the script. When there is a scene where we talk about a scene in a football game that was never a penalty, and we added it to it. But there was just an immediate chemistry. That's what chemistry reads are for, and how the language and the grammar, how they work with each other, and how you like watching these two people together. And that was deeply apparent even before we started doing anything in rehearsing. Yeah,
I think when I first came in to do the chemistry read, which is the moment where you start thinking I could potentially get this job because it's been whittled down.
Because you'd had a few meetings before
you do a
that.
tape, and then you'd go in and do an audition with the producer and the director, and you go through a couple of rounds. So this was kind of like, don't mess this up.
Okay, Robson's in.
Game.
Yeah, bring it.
And I came into the room, kind of the waiting area by reception, and Robson saw me and he was like, Rishi, came and gave me a big hug, and I immediately just felt so relaxed. And we had about 15 minutes before we went in. I had 3 scenes to prepare. And we just started talking about football. And we were talking about football for 15 minutes. And then someone went, okay, it's your time to go in. And I remember walking in and I think, why have I not asked them any questions about the scene? I've just spoken about football for 15 minutes. But in actual fact, doing that, we kind of, within that 15 minutes, we had great chemistry just as two people, as Robson and Rishi. And I think that allowed me to go into that room and be quite relaxed and just do the best job that I could.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's been a kind of extraordinary thing for us in terms of the cast. It's like, with everybody, you kind of have your wish list of people that you really hope will be in the show. Tessa Pete Jones is a perfect example. It's like, who is Mrs. C? Tessa would be amazing, and we got her to come in. And then, when I first met Al, it was like, Al came into his audition, and it was just like immediately, it's like, this is an extraordinary actor. We would be so lucky for him to play Leonard. And at that point, we didn't know if Leonard was going to be kind of in 11 series. But I think, Al rocks up, came in, an extraordinary audition. We were like, this is incredible. And that gave you so much to play with in terms of what you're writing for the character. And I think, the journey that we've taken Geordie on and Alphy and definitely Leonard across the series, it's a testament to these guys as actors. It really is.
Say who your mentor was when you were.
Yeah, Tessa was my mentor at drama school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're in the third year when you go sort of out in the big bad world, and they sort of like pair you up with someone, and she came in, and I was really starstruck because obviously Only Fools in my house was the biggest show on TV, and and then I'd worked with her, ex-husband Doug, and then we got cast together, and it was just the most wonderful thing because yeah, it's just funny. We just laugh. Like,
You
we
guys have
laugh.
such a great relationship.
I just take the mickey out of each other all the time. And it's so much fun. This job is so much fun.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why it's such a success as well, with Al especially, because you'll go around not only in Great Britain, around the world, because so many people around the world, especially in America, love this show so much, and you ask who, you know, a lot of Americans who their favourite character is, and around Europe as well, and everyone says Leonard. And Leonard is my favourite character as well. And that's testament to Al, what he's brought, because a lot of this show is it's this unique hybrid, isn't it? I mean, we have these very kind of uncomfortable subjects, be it domestic abuse, be it homophobia, be it racism, or any other kind of uncomfortable theme that's going on. They bring levity to it. They bring humour to it. And Al's got this unique timing that I've never come across before. And I was just wondering, in the books, in Shadow of Shadow of Death and Perils of the Night, was Leonard a big character in those?
You should know the answer to this. You know? He was just. I think he was featured. Yeah. He featured as a curate, but he's kind of disappeared out of it. But as soon as we saw Al, really, we were like, keep him in, that's what we kept doing. We kept gathering characters that we like Nick Brimble, who plays Jack.
It's amazing at the start. And I think, how many characters at the end? Like 11 or 10?
Yeah, just
like, this ensemble kept growing.
Loved.
But yeah, it's because then Daisy, as you get into it, then Daisy writes for you, and they story together, and then you feel like you can come with them with an idea and say, as an actor, I'd really be interested in sort of, because you want to challenge yourself as things go. When you're in a long-running show, it's important that you're still growing and the show's growing, and then you can bring ideas, and hopefully it's something that you can sort of deal with. And yeah, there's a lot of there was
a lot of sharing of ideas, and you directed.
I did, yeah.
Did you? When did you direct?
Last 3 years. It's 6 episodes now, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
When I first joined, Al was...
By the shoulder.
Oh, his shoulder. He's got a bad shoulder.
Very shoulder operation.
When I first joined, I started obviously in episode 3. So me and Al hadn't really done many scenes in episode 3. And then episode 4, which was my next block, Al was the director. And he left all his scenes to the end of the block. Mm-hmm. So I kind of knew Al first as a director, weirdly enough. And then by the end of your block, in block 2, he would sit next to me with the monitor, and I was thinking, this is weird. Why is the director getting it?
It's good when she do it again. It's better, yeah?
A sign of the times. Budgeting. We're all direct each other now. Yeah. Wow. It's quite interesting though, because there is, there's a hierarchy on set, isn't there? And so, for Al to be, I guess, bossing it, directing it, and then again, he kind of steps into Leonard, and it's kind of a different dynamic.
He fully abused his power as a director. He would tell
sure he did.
as much as he could.
My first, because I'm a corpser, right? A lot of us are corpses. Tess is we're all corpses, but I'm very, I like it. It's funny. But my first day was I remember it was Robson and Tom.
I was going focus.
And they have to find this body down this corridor, and time's running short, and it's my first day. I'm already 6 hours behind, sweating, and they're just giggling to each other. And I was like, guys, this is on it. Guys, you've got to concentrate. And they were like, are you joking? Are you joking? I was like, please.
But it's also one of those things as well with the writing as well as actors. You'll come across scripts that you're mending and you're putting a sticking plaster on, you're trying to work it out, and that's quite an uncomfortable position to be in. I think one of the reasons why it's been so enjoyable is that Daisy's words, like Shakespeare, are so easy and wonderful to learn. It's so well written, you enjoy the learning process. Whereas other writers have come aboard who are great as well, but it needs a bit more work, and it's quite a task sometimes to work out the grammar and how you're going to take your journey. But I think in 11 years, I don't know about you, but very rarely would I go, Daisy, I've got a real problem with this scene and what the journey is. That's never happened.
How many times that happens.
Yeah, and if you change the Daisy Coulam script, it's a word, it's a when. But and the others, it's pages and scenes and structure. But Daisy, if you ever had a problem on other scripts and everything, I remember I always emailed Daisy and keep the other writers out. Daisy, I'm not sure with this, but you always go back to that, to the creator. And of course, James Runcie as well, who's, you know, it was lovely talking to James and his view of everything and about, you know, the fact that they are not only in the shadow of death, but they're also in the shadow of World War II in 1953 and the journey to 1963. It would actually, I think the book's got in 1979 into Thatcher's Britain as well. But everybody was in the shadow of World War II. And so the first relationship with Geordie and James, it was the two of them had experienced World War II. And then with Tom, Brittany and Will, they hadn't. So there was a very meeting of minds in the first relationship. The second relationship was very much father and son. And this one, I think what worked immediately when we met in the audition was we're the same. We're from the same class. We have the same common ground. We have the same loves and the same need for one another and to be alongside one another. And I don't know if you know, you super fans of Grantchester, in the 11 years, there have been, in the quintessentially English village of Grantchester, quiet and peaceful and sedate and beautiful. There have been 78 murders, stroke deaths, 77 of which were solved by a vicar, which makes me the worst detective in television history. Seriously? And I would go, Daisy, please let me solve a crime.
Do you remember when you in series 11, Robson, well, Geordie solves a crime, and I remember reading the script. And I was like, oh my God, I rang Robson. I went, you've done it.
But it's actually how the gallery of characters are all tested by the crime, and that's what I love about it. It's how the crime, and Daisy said from day one, and Emma said from day one, that these are murders that matter. Because it's how the murders affect the individual and how the individual affects all those really kind of interesting relationships that we all care about and want to follow. So crime is a really good kind of engine to work off, I guess, in relationships, isn't it?
Yeah, Daisy, you said something brilliant when we were chatting before. You were like, it's not a whodunit, it is a...
Why done it?
Yeah.
Because we always like to think that you could come away from it and go, I sort of get, I'm not like, I condone murder, but like, I get why somebody did it. It's a bit more about humanity and love the sinner and hate the sin, which becomes like a big theme, which was James Runcie's dad, who was Archbishop of Canterbury. That was his kind of view of the world, that you could, you know, God loves all sinners. And so that's kind of what we've, and it kind of comes out in the last, oh no, I was about to spoiler.
Don't you? But no.
But it was interesting talking to James early on as well, because James Runcie, the creator of the books, he said, I was born in the shadow of death, because when he was christened in Norwich, the Norwich church, they didn't read the christening passage. They actually got it wrong, and he read the passage from funerals. And that's what they read at his christening, yeah. And that is, so he was born into the shadow of death, and he's really interested in this whole thing of shadow of death and light and dark. They're very kind of religious metaphors, and it's a really interesting thing that we all deal with. And I guess in 1953, death and crime was a familiar thing and was expected. And he said, yeah, I want to write about that. But it was kind of fate for him. It was kind of written in the stars. He was born in the shadow of death, he said.
That's amazing. I never knew that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
He's also been fantastically generous because, you know, obviously after series 1, as Robson said, the books, I'm sure a lot of you have read the books, and they take on a completely different life. And obviously Sydney, you know, it's very much Sydney Chambers stories. And obviously after the first series, you know, the nature of television, the nature of kind of stories that you're telling, and Daisy wanted to do kind of new stories of the week and different things. And James has always been so supportive, hasn't he? And he was just like, you know, just take the show where you want to take it. And has always, you know, he reads all the scripts and he watches all the episodes, but he's always been really generous in that way. And then obviously when James left and we were bringing in a new character, he was completely open to, you know, Daisy creating Will and then Daisy creating Alphy and kind of making those it's very much kind of giving you the series, isn't it?
Yeah, Alfie's named after my dog. So, sorry.
Fantastic. Brilliant. On that note, should we have a quick peek at the other star of the show?
Dickens.
No.
Oh. I mean, I wish it was just a minute of Dickens. Unfortunately not. It is a minute of Cambridge and Grantchester.
Oh, okay.
Just we could have a peek. Wow, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
I mean, how you've shot it, you've made it look beautiful. But I also want to say, I mean, because a lot of us here live here-ish, and aren't we lucky to live in such a
Yeah, you
beautiful
really are.
place?
You really are. It's beautiful.
But what I love about what you've done with this show is that, you know, it is almost like the location is one of the stars, you know, and it's just central to the whole premise of it. And I think it brings so many things to it, and it's part of the appeal of it. And so, I mean, looking at that there, I mean, for you, how central is it to the show?
It's really, really important. I think, you know, right back at the beginning when we were developing the stories, obviously there's always that question when you're making a show, it's kind of like, where are you going to film it? Where's handy? Where's local? What's close to London? What's going to be the easiest place for us to film? Obviously, Grantchester is a real place, and we came and had a look location-wise. And obviously, you know, the structure of Grantchester, it's one big long road, and is that going to work?
And it's small, isn't it?
Small.
I mean, what,
It is
500 people live there?
Yeah. It's a small place, and we were very much...
78 of them are dead now.
Yeah, they're all gone. But yeah, that sense of, you know, do you go for one of those quintessential sort of chocolate box villages that we could then go, oh, we'll pretend it's Grantchester, and we immediately were kind of like, no, we really want to have the authenticity of shooting here, shooting in the church. This is very much what, you know, as James and Daisy had imagined it. And, you know, you walk down to the meadows and you can't replicate that anywhere else. You just say, we just have to be here. And it's been fantastic. And then you have that conversation of how are the locals going to feel? And after 11 years, I hope everyone's happy with us.
Anyone here from Grantchester? Oh, okay, well, they're here. That's a good sign. Oh, great. Because you kind of think, look, I mean, like, there are a few shows that are shot in kind of small villages, and quite often people can either love or loathe.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're loving it.
I hope so.
Unless they come with complaints.
I think
We've always
days before I retire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But wasn't there a running joke as soon as the Wisterias the false Wisterias being, oh bloody hell, they're doing another series. Grantchester's going again. The false Wisteria that apparently Alan Titchmarsh really hates.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't like
Off the
it.
back of an interview with you, Rishi,
Yeah.
and the Titchmarsh raging about
Do you know
Wisteria.
And Chesapeake Jones went on Alan Titchmarsh show or something called like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, he had a real problem with the wisteria.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, it's not my job. Like,
Don't start it again, Rishi. Honestly.
The show is called Love Your Weekend on a Sunday.
Alan Titchmarsh.
Love Your Weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
Love Your Weekend.
Obviously, as one of the country's preeminent gardeners, he was not happy with our not completely 100% real wisteria.
it's not.
And then our producer, Jyoti, then sent him some wisteria in the post.
Really brilliant.
But then
Brilliant.
One villager said, "You're annoying, but we're going to miss you," and I thought that was quite sweet. I was like, "That's nice. That's nice."
Do you think that's a kind of a good summary?
Yeah. And like we did lovely things, like you did an amazing firework display.
Yeah, I did a couple of fireworks
amazing.
displays. Yeah.
we had a cricket match. We had a rounders game.
Pub quiz.
Pub quiz.
quiz,
Yeah,
yeah.
they've always been part of it. So, most of the village come and be essays, and they're always in the church scenes. And I mean,
By essays, can you just tell us all what that is?
supporting artists, all the background people, sort of in the street, and which is great because every year you see them.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
I think they're going to miss you.
Oh, I think so. I hope so.
Emma, tell us about that shot on the roof of King's. There was a little bit of I thought, oh, there's a story there.
That was, it was extraordinary. It was kind of,
You got access.
We
They
got
let you up
access.
there.
We got access, which was incredible. And then actually, you know, obviously, and it was series 2, so it was kind of, fairly early days of drones. But that was the only way that we could afford to do it. But the funniest thing about it, obviously, Robson and James and Lorne, who I was about to try and remember his character's name. Phil. Lorne, who played Phil, on top there. But the thing that we hadn't done in the planning was remember the fact that our director was really scared of heights. So he was absolutely extraordinary, but he got as far as the doorway at the top and then couldn't go out, or actually get out onto the roof. So he was directing from the doorway because he was God love him. It was so mean of us to make him direct that episode, but it was a brilliant episode. But it was extraordinary.
Yeah, we've had some great direction and some strange directing notes, but to have it secondhand by the director, I'll not mention him, but he had suffered terribly from vertigo, and so the director's notes were coming from the ground via the first assistant director, to which he went, "Go again." He says, "Robson, I don't know what you're doing wrong, but it's crap." that was one of the best ones I had. Just do it again, just be better. Up on a roof, yeah. He was absolutely petrified.
He was petrified.
Yeah.
But it was extraordinary. It was absolutely extraordinary to have that access. And, they were incredible to allow us to do that. And, we've shot so much, kind of around. So many of the colleges have been so welcoming to us over the years. And it as you said earlier, it's such an important part of the show, and to give such a strong personality to the show that it's been, we've been really lucky with the access that we've had.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as well for a lot of you watching it, you're looking at certain places that we've shot thinking, that's not Cambridge. Yeah, there's a few, we have to throw in a few looky-likey buildings because schedule doesn't allow us to be here as much as we'd like to be. But yeah, it makes such a difference to the stories, I think.
And what about some of the interiors? Are they shot elsewhere? Or?
Again, a lot of the interiors are, we try to be in the college's kind of interior and exterior. But yeah, sometimes we can only do... Oh, the vicarage, yeah, that's always been not the interior of the vicarage. Mostly because obviously a vicar lives there. And all three vicars that have been living in the house whilst we've been filming there have been fantastic about letting us put up the wisteria and the shutters and then having all the actors pretending that they're going through their front door. And for the first 8 series, it was a house that was actually in Hatfield, which had the lovely garden. I don't know if you remember the episodes where you could look out into the garden. It was lovely. And then after series 8, sorry, Rishi, we went into a set. And your first series, it was really hot, wasn't it? Shooting in that set. Oh my God.
It was also really confusing. Like, I still smoked at the time, and I used to go out the back door to have a cigarette in the garden, and I would go in the hallway and walk and be like, "Oh my, what?" It was really weird. It was really discombobulating. Like, the kitchen's bigger.
That's what 11 years on the show does.
Also, it was a weird house. That it was all a bit spooky.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did someone actually live in that house?
No, we rented it for series 1, and then we just kept rolling with the rental of it. And it was very much, it was on a farm, and it was surrounded by fields. And do you remember the spiders? Oh my God, I'm massively arachnophobic, and you get spiders in that house that were like that. And it got to the point where I had to get our line producer, particular one series, Chris Sheriff, who was a brilliant line producer, but he would go into rooms for me and check, because the amount of times you'd just walk into a room, we're about to shoot in here, and then I would run screaming from the building because there would be some enormous spider. But yeah, then it was weird. It was weird going into the set.
I think the last thing we shot there was Bonnie and Will's wedding.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The end of season 7.
Which was COVID-y time. It was still just about COVID.
Yeah, it's the second one, the next one after COVID, yeah. But that was a kind of a nice way, but it was gorgeous, that garden.
It was lovely, that whole house.
And why did you shift? Why did you shift to a set?
We shifted because the people that owned it said that they wanted to sell, but also at that point the nature of production is that you don't know if you're going to get another series or, and actually that series we
ended it.
Yeah, we thought that we might be coming to an end.
What series was that? 7? 8?
8.
Yeah, series 8, if you watch it, you're like, you could potentially end it there.
Oh, really?
No,
there's an even bigger finale.
There's quite a few series
after the
where
wedding.
it ends.
Yeah, that was series 7, wasn't it?
Yeah,
After the wedding. Yeah, so it was, Will and Bonnie got married. It felt like it was a really nice kind of ending. And then, we weren't sure if we were going to get another series. And so, and they said, we want to have the house back. So we were like, it's a shame, but, the show's probably coming to an end. And then we got recommissioned, and it was like,
oh yeah.
Okay, what do we do now? But our fantastic designer said, "Don't worry, I can replicate it," and they did an extraordinary job. And it is a lovely set. And then every series, the Keating house.
It's a different house.
was a different, strange little period house.
You couldn't get a camera into the Keating's house in series 1.
Oh, it's so
and it's changed. And what's interesting about this series as well, because of the changes, and sometimes you have to compromise, and sometimes you're under so much pressure. Every department's under so much pressure. And as are the directors. I don't know how Al did it. We've got a director here tonight. We've got Chloe Thomas in the audience, who's a brilliant director. How the pressure they're under, yet they still care. Everyone cares. And the commitment, the hard work, the devotion, I think resonates in front of the lens. That has never ceased. I have never, and I've been in this business for 42 years, and I've done over 1,000 hours of primetime drama. And
wow,
I've
1,000
never.
hours.
Yeah,
that is
it's a
incredible.
lot, I know.
Not many people that can say that.
That's
just
nuts.
to say.
That is nuts.
It's
That is
amazing.
absolutely nuts. But I've never been on a show where there's never. People think it's a cult.
They do.
They do. People think it's a cult. It's so. I've never been in an environment that when you wake up in the morning, you went, I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, this will be a breeze. I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm going to go to work with these incredible people. That has never, ever changed. There's never been one negative energy. And if there's any kind of hint of it, we all put a stop to it. So, but there's never been it in 11 years, which is utterly bizarre.
Shut down the bad juju.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of that? The White Knight.
It starts with Robson, and it started with James and Robson, to be honest. But
Yeah.
It starts with Emma and Daisy. It starts with casting. It starts with you put your crew together, because not all crews are like that.
Yeah.
You know, and
It does. It's like the opposite of a fish rots from the head, hey?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
exactly.
You've got a White Knight at the top.
yeah. But what's nice,
Goddess.
but we have so many young actors coming into the show, you know, that have gone on to do incredible things like
Emma
Corrin.
Corrin.
One to name many, but and what's gorgeous is that you do feel like you're kind of giving them just showing them how it's done. You know, he showed me how it's done, and also enjoying your job. And the hardest thing about, and I don't know if what you felt this, like I've never had to do it because I'm like 3 on the call sheet, so I can do that. But you two have to, every guest that comes in, you're not just leading every scene. You're not just there putting in the hours and making the quality good. You're there to make the guests feel safe and to give them the best chance to do their job as well as they can. Did you... Sorry.
When they start asking questions amongst themselves, go for it.
Was that... Because I know, like, is it tiring to do
You
that?
know what? I really enjoy that part of it.
Yeah.
Having the guests come in and like kind of showing them around and making them feel really welcome, and I really enjoyed that whole process, especially when it's young actors that it's their first kind of job outside of drama school. Because I think it's the first time in my career that I've had that responsibility as a lead of welcoming guest actors in, and you know, I've only done it for 3 years, and I love it. It's great. It's great, and you can see the joy that they have being there. They really enjoy working in that environment, and I think when you create that environment, it then allows them to bring their best work out. They feel relaxed around you. They feel like you're their friend, and you can just kind of play together with the scenes. You know, and then everyone obviously gets starstruck when Robson comes in. And
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
well, they say my mum's your biggest fan.
I always know. There's this barometer back on, and I always tell Rishi this. My mother, who's 91, had a neighbour, God rest her soul. She was called Rose. Her real name was Joyce, but everybody called her Rose. And she used to talk like this, and she used to say, Mr. Green, can I just say, I'm enjoying your new series. She always called it a series, not a series. I'm loving that new series. And she goes, bah, that Rishi Nair. He's lovely. If I was 40 years younger, I'd give him a run for his money. and she's going, but can I just say, in those 11 years, your hair is immaculate. But she is a brilliant barometer, because my mum lives in this mining village, and they all get together in these miners' cottages, and there's one big house where they all sit around the TV and watch it and find comfort in this beautiful storytelling that these amazing guys over here have created, and that's a lovely thing. But I've done things where Joyce / Rose has gone, hello, Robson, I saw your show last week. I hope you weren't paid for that. Jeez. Joyce and Stoke Rose was a great barometer. Yeah.
Funny. Brilliant.
Robson breaks into this character all the time.
Yeah.
And it gives us so much joy. Like, we need to get a sketch show with that character. It's so funny.
She was amazing. She was an amazing lady.
Back to your point about cosy crime, I guess what always strikes me about the show is that it's cosy crime, but you tackle some really difficult subjects.
Yeah, we try to, don't we?
Yeah.
I think I find I sort of get slightly not irritated, but when people say cosy crime, it's kind of diminishes. Like, yeah, I love cosy crime books, and I think there's something about saying cosy crime that kind of makes it a bit soft, and which we never try and cut through that a little bit in this show.
Yeah. We've always tried to, you want to tell a really fun story of the week, the whodunit/whydunit. But also it's a show that you want to, right from very early on, didn't we? We kind of we've got these extraordinary characters and we need to take them in some really interesting directions, but also we want to dig in and say some stuff and talk about stuff and get maybe a certainly in the early days, but I think, and I think once the audience got really used to it, they really enjoyed that. But I think, we were kind of like, it isn't, as you say, it's not just cosy crime. There's quite a lot to say, and there's an awful lot to say about the 50s and the 60s. I think that notion of, and I think it's also quite pertinent to now, but kind of looking back on the 50s and going, it was amazing. Well, no era is amazing. Every era has challenges, and I think that, it's nice to be able to kind of look back on that and kind of dig into that a bit.
Which tees up brilliantly
Well,
a clip all about Leonard. Oh. Well done, Al.
I think that was such an extraordinary example, though, of having, as I said earlier, Al is such an extraordinary actor. We had this character that we really liked, and Daisy really had a lot that she wanted to say about kind of Leonard and his homosexuality. And then we just started to kind of say, how far can we take this, and what direction do we want to go in with it? But we knew that anything that Daisy created and wrote, Al would play it brilliantly, and you smashed the whole story. I mean, everything's just been brilliant. But
Very nice, thank you.
Do you think that there's a certain power in, I guess, there is a power in the fact that, we're going back to a period, the 50s, where you can almost shine a light and get really, really unpack things better than even if you were kind of a contemporaneous drama, as in, because you really expose, I guess, homosexuality, but also another thing when Rishi comes in, the racism that he encounters.
Yeah.
You really shine a light on it. And at the end of the day, there are still thoughts and feelings in this space.
Yeah, we try
in society.
We always sort of consider it like a prism to look at. It's so weird how the show, sometimes it would like mirror what was happening in the world. Like the series where you go to prison was...
I went to prison.
You went to prison. No, it was COVID times, and it was, I don't know, I felt like we were sort of mirroring...
But we were saying that the other day. We were saying that at the Rat Party. I was like, do you find that, like, this... I mean, you might, because you write them, so maybe it does mirror you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I feel like you're writing my life. Like, weird things happen in my life that are coinciding with...
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just growth of where we're at, or...
Because we're getting old.
But yeah, maybe.
Yes.
No.
I think we use it as a prism to look at issues now, like the fact that, homosexuality or abortion, and abortion debate, that kind of thing. I don't know. It's just a good way of looking at those.
And you're a mainstream drama, prime time, ITV, very broad audience. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's also an element of even a kind of cultural coaxing by stealth?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know how. Does that feel a bit leading? I don't know. Like things like the racism thing. Mm-hmm. We just knew. I mean, that just it almost came from you as well. You're saying like walking into a pub would be like a weird experience for Alfie.
It was 61 season 9, or 60, 61, and when I got cast in the show and we were discussing it, I think, in 61, if someone who looked like Alfie walked into a pub, especially in a town like Grantchester in that period, or anywhere in the country really, you know, people would look, people would stop and turn, and there would be a weird atmosphere. And I think, for me as an actor coming in, portraying someone like Alfie and being of South Asian heritage, I think it was important that we also showed that that's what life would be like. I think it would be wrong for me to walk into a pub and everyone's my best mate, because that's not what life would be. And so I think Daisy and Emma did a brilliant job of showing that, but also it's really important that that doesn't become the overriding theme of the series as well. We still are in Grantchester, and so we touch upon it, and we have it as a reoccurring theme that comes in every now and then, whether it just be a small comment here and there. And like with the other stuff, with the homosexuality and the other stuff, it's all done, it's a serious topic, but then told in a very light-hearted way, and it's very Grantchester way. And I think,
yeah, told through character, like Mrs. C is a bit racist, because she's like, oh, you know, Trumpington have got a vicar from Cornwall. They think they're exotic, kind of thing. You know, like you kind of use the character rather than bashing people over the head with a story. I think.
I think that's what's been really. I was always impressed with the writing, was that it doesn't bash people over the head with a with an an ideology or a theme or whatever it is, whatever the current sort of, you know what I mean. So it's always been on point, but in a really gorgeous way, done through character. And I think what what you're saying about being in that time, it allows for that a lot more than now, because of that, because these characters would be, Mrs. C was homophobic.
She's come around
a bit racist. Yeah, but even still, in the one we just shot, there's still a challenge for her to overcome when it comes to certain things.
I thought you were spoiling.
But you're right, there's a lightness of touch, isn't there? Because I mean, Rishi walking into the pub for the first time, it's almost a bit of a Western, like, as in Tumbleweed moment, you know? And there's a lightness of touch to it, you know?
We don't want to make it, like you said, we don't want to, like...
We don't want to do too much. And I think it's kind of true to life, isn't it? You see a scene and there's, whether it be 4 or 5 people in there, and say it Mrs. C or another character, it's just one comment kind of in a conversation, and the conversation carries on, and as an audience you're watching it and you kind of feel a bit uncomfortable because it was like, sorry, what did they say? But the conversation's moved on, and that's kind of how it is in real life as well, you know. It's very rare that people, in my experience, will come up and be very racist to you. But what's quite common is just an odd comment here and there, which is done not maliciously, but just maybe not being quite educated in that topic, that you kind of hear and you just think, oh, okay, whatever, and you move on. And I think that's what we kind of portray in the series. It's kind of, with whatever topic we're talking about, it's kind of just a little moment here or there which the audience can feel that uncomfortableness.
Yeah, and you bring levity, again, the levity, and there's this, the seriousness, there's this underbelly of something, okay, let's just keep something buoyant about it. How can we make this funny? So there's a series where the opening scene, I come into the room after work and I'm there and my son's wearing a dress and shoes and his feather boa. I go, oh my God, what's happened to my son? Is he gay? In 1962, what am I going to do? What are the guys going to think at work? Who am I going to turn to about this subject? Leonard. And he goes to Leonard, right, when you were 10, were you wearing dresses? You know, when did it all start with you? Did your parents know? But again, getting that beautiful balance, dealing with something incredibly uncomfortable, yet getting the set dynamic right to know that the audience can actually engage with it with levity as well. And I think that's really important. That's why I think it's always been that rare hybrid where they can go, you know the subject, but you can enjoy the education. And I think that's really beautiful.
It's very rare, it's very unique. 11 series in, 78 people down.
Gone.
Why is it coming to an end?
Yeah, Emma.
All my fault.
Why are we all going to be busking on King's Parade? Singing songs from the show.
No, I think that, and Al and I have talked about this before, in that very Faulty Towers where you want to go out on a high, you want to go out on top, and every single year the first thing that Daisy and I do is sit down and say, you know, what are the themes for this series? What's the story that Daisy wants to tell? And she's extraordinary because she just kind of, you know, she will always come up with an extraordinary story that she wants to tell. But truthfully, you know, the television landscape is quite challenging, and every year we ask more and more of our production team in terms of budgets, and it gets harder and harder, and it becomes a more difficult thing. And so we just said, you know, we've done 11 series. Kudos it's the longest running show ever. We've beaten Spooks by one series, so I'm very proud. Yeah, but we just thought, yeah, it's time, and we've had so much fun with these characters, and and the way Daisy has, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but the way Daisy kind of has written the final episode, and so, you know, the door will always be open, put it that way. But you know, for us, it's time. That's what we said, wasn't it? It feels like it's time.
11 years is a long. It's a quarter of my life. It's half my career. It's insane. I mean, you know, it's insane. And I said to everyone, Daisy, every year, I'm like, how much more can you throw at characters before you kind of go, can they just be happy? You know, I don't know what else. The last thing we talked about before we shot this is that I think there's like this thing that maybe could do that. I was like, I don't know what else there is, and you don't want to feel like that because you guys who watch it, you deserve the best. What we can give, what they can give, and you know, nothing should go on forever. You know.
Can I remind them what the stage direction was at the end?
Yeah, go on.
So,
can you say?
yeah, because you're never going to hear it and it's never going to be broadcast because it's just a stage direction. And Daisy wrote, nothing really ends, not really. The River Cam will keep flowing and the swans will keep swimming. And if you look in a Cambridge pub hard enough, you might see two old men, an ex-copper and a vicar, having a warm pint and putting the world to rights.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So all of us here have watched Series 9. Mm-hmm. Series 10 and Series 11.
Yep.
A shot?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Series 10 is, well, we're waiting to hear from ITV when it's going to go out, but we're hoping it will be very soon.
2026?
2026.
Okay.
Yeah. And Series 11, we've just finished shooting and we're now in the edit, and then that will go out, I would imagine, the beginning of 27.
27.
Yeah.
And so that therefore means that, you know, you did finish shooting Series 11. My little boy in the front row. And you must have had a wrap party.
We did.
When was the wrap party?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, great, it's fresh.
Yeah, look at them. They can't remember.
I do believe I've got the Daily Mail in the room, actually. So, you know, so I've got stories. Bring them now.
Oh, no, the extraordinary thing about it that was really, really lovely, you know, it was the fact that it wasn't just a kind of wrap party for Series 11, but obviously we wanted to celebrate the cast and crew of Series 11, but we also wanted to say thank you to everybody. And so we invited certain people that have been involved in the show from the beginning. So Tom Brittany came, James Norton came, which was lovely. Diedrich Santa, who was the original exec producer.
So all three vicars.
All three vicars in the room together.
In a photo booth.
Jostling.
We have a picture of a Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Yeah, there is. We still haven't seen this properly, but rumour has it that there is a picture of the three of them doing the Spider-Man thing all together. So I'm desperate to see this photo. But yeah, it was lovely, and it's such a. It is a testament to the show, I think, that, you know, James was on the show. It was a long time ago now since James left, and obviously, you know, Tom's been off in America filming a series, and they came and they wanted to celebrate with us, which was just absolutely lovely.
Yeah, lovely. So Al and Robson, you know, you've been with the character 11 years. Do you go through some kind of like signing off? I mean, do you feel like, where does Robson end and Geordie begins? I mean,
I don't know.
Is there a
that
distinct line?
that character, because Emma, obviously, I'm tanned in Thailand on Skype, and she went, so what do you think? And I said magnifying glass, but I also said Columbo. I went, it's Peter Falk, and it's just this one look, and I don't know, with that character, I wore the same suit for 11 years, in every single scene, in every single episode. And if I did change the one or two times, you noticed it. And that was the same with Peter Falk.
same suit.
Whole 11 years. And when they were going, no, we...
multiple versions of it. Like, no,
same one.
literally one.
Our poor costume designer. Yeah, well,
How did it
there was a
last?
lot of.
And it's hanging up in a shrine at my house in Northumberland. Yeah, and my son, who's a cameraman, got me a hat stand for his hat and wrote something quite beautiful on it as well, which was really, really stunning. So that, just keep looking at that memory of it is something that, you know, I feel very fondly about. But we're going to be talking about it in 2027. You know, there's going to come a point where, you know, you go through it and you go through it again. And, you know, it's never goodbye because we'll meet again and we'll do stuff again. And, you know, I'm playing a serial killer in January in Spain, so that's what I'm doing my next job. So, hey,
Life goes
of an
on,
actor.
or
Yeah,
maybe
not. Yeah.
Also, amazing that you fit in the same suit for 11 years.
What are you trying to say? What you trying to say?
Days that you keep in shape.
That's really interesting. Like over 11 years, like I had to get new suits made. I had an injury, and I wasn't able to practice. And I was like, oh my god, I can't fit in my suit. This is awful. And then there's but like you see yourself changing. It's like we saw bits in season 1, and we're like, oh my god,
Just young, man.
it's so strange to see yourself.
I've even heard of some actors before having a morning trouser and an afternoon trouser. It's not great.
No,
No,
we had the budget
these guys
for
are
that.
brilliant. They're absolutely amazing. And I have to say, you know, we have been. Rishi has always been fantastically generous about the fact that, you know, I will turn around to him and say, Rishi, you know, is it okay? You know, it's. Would you mind doing a scene where you have to take your shirt off? And he's brilliant. It's like if it warrants it for the scene. And then I will say, yeah, we need you to do it on Friday. And he's like, oh my goodness, I've been eating pudding. So
The first time Emma asked me to do that was in the office of Kudos. No word of a lie. While she was passing me a plate of cake. Literally.
But like not to take the shirt off like there and then.
No. Yeah, in 2 weeks' time.
yeah.
I'm like, maybe not with the cake.
On that note, we should open the floor.
I thought you were going to ask us to take our shirts off. It's Thursday.
Oh God.
Yeah, the one thrilling, not killing.
Brilliant.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Sunbathing when you went on holiday.
Yeah, the Marys.
Season 6, yeah.
Oh my God, Mary's. Yes, Mary's holiday camp. Well, again, another testament to the production designer, because that was in COVID, and he built this extraordinary holiday camp. And when they were cutting it together, it's not apocryphal, I think it's really true. The editor went, could you tell me where that holiday camp is? Because I want to take my kids. But yeah, he goes everywhere. Why ruin a good suit, which is one of the lines. And it became a thing, and then the hat became a thing. I don't know if you know, but I never wear the hat, but I carry it with me all the while. And Daisy and Emma came up with this fantastic scenario that he keeps something under his hat, and it's the names of his dead comrades from Burma in prison of war. So it's quite a beautiful prop, and everything about that suit was a kind of real statement. And I think we got it right from day one, that look. Really, really worked. Yeah, it's beautiful.
My mother brilliantly has just opened the floor. Yeah. So we'll thank her for that. She's a lifelong Robson Green fan. Sorry.
She's only human.
I told you. That's the biggest fan.
I admire your taste in men.
We are representing the cliche right here and now. But if anyone else would like to ask any questions, we've got a good 20 minutes. Brilliant. We've got a question here. Have we got mics? Excellent. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you.
Somebody give us a number.
Hiya. It's kind of a question, I guess, for everyone, no one specifically, but obviously you change actors and vicars, 3 times. But the show has such like a distinctive heart to it, as you say. It's comfy, it's cozy, it's everyone loves it. When you change vicars, how do you go about it that you're keeping the heart of the show the same and kind of the relationship between Geordie and the vicar similar, but different enough that each vicar is different so they're their own character? If that makes sense.
Great question.
That's a really great question.
Great question.
And we spend a lot of time thinking about that because, and I think it comes down to, for me, this show is a love story, and it's a love story between a vicar and his a vicar and a copper, and that it's a friendship. And so as long as you have that at the heart of it, then everything else. So it's about how you create a different friendship. Like you kind of said, you and James you and Sydney were in the war, so you have that in common.
Father and son with
Father and son with Will and is that something fall off? All right. Father and son with Will and Geordie, and then Alfie. It's like a meeting of minds.
Yeah.
Like they meet on a level. So it was just, but it was difficult because you want to create the same energy and the same warmth, but without basically just doing a carbon copy.
You've also been very lucky because you got really lucky. The show got really lucky because of the time between 53 and 63. The change is so huge that every time when Tom came in late mid 50s or 57, it was kind of getting. The time was really changing. And when you came, it was changing. So the motorbike and then the car, and the music's different, the style's different. So I think that really, we got really lucky with that, didn't we, as well, in sort of when our vicars left.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think, and also just really loads of luck. I don't know. I literally think it's luck.
I don't know. It's that thing in the chemistry reads as well. In answer to your question, sometimes it's just something you can't quantify.
Yeah.
And it's you don't know what you want until you see it, and that happens a lot in our industry. That I've been in many read-throughs. You go, this has got to be the biggest hit ever, and it's just nobody's watched it. It's just died, and you don't know why, And it's maybe because of that likability, which I think is important in television, very important in television. Not so much film, but in television, definitely. And I think the chemistry reads, we're just talking, you just know, Emma and Daisy, you're smiling while we're reading, and you just go, you've got it. You've got it. And it's something, I watch those people and I care enough about them so much, I want to follow. Luckily, we had this incredible gallery of characters with extraordinary comic timing. I've never come across anything like it with Al. It's astonishing. And him and I didn't know Tessa was your mentor. And now it all makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I only found that out.
No, she didn't teach me that. She said she taught me everything I know.
Yeah, but I know, but the timing.
Not given
I don't know where that's just, it's beautiful. So it's that thing sometimes you can't quantify. And you'll find a lot of that in auditions. You think you got something and then just this energy walks in the room and you go, that's it. That's what we're after. And that will work and people will really like it. Yeah.
But I mean, as the third vicar, when I came in, I remember when my first couple of auditions, and I thought, let me watch Grantchester to kind of get a vibe for the show, because I hadn't watched it before. And I remember watching, I think it was Series 7, that was an ITV player at the time. And I put it on, and I was watching it, and it was obviously Tom Brittany playing Will. And after about 5 minutes, I turned it off, and I thought, no, I can't watch this, because being the new vicar coming in, you want to come in with a new, you want to give the show a new feel, bring in your own energy. And when I was watching it, Tom Hood does a brilliant job playing Will. It's like, if I watch too much of this, I'm going to try and do what he's doing, because it's not the same character, but it's a vicar solving crimes with a copper. And so I decided not to watch that because I didn't want to try and copy what he was doing. But then also, if I watched what he did and then wanted to do something completely different, I'm also altering my performance to be so different to him. So I kind of just went off instinct and trusted the script and the character description that I was given, and put my trust in the producers and the directors and the writers to steer me in the right direction if I wasn't, on with the show.
I've just remembered though, we were like, he's just a really happy vicar, because all the others were quite traumatised and damaged. And then about halfway through the season, we were like, Rishi, we think he might be a bit traumatised. I know it.
I remember you two walking up to my trailer, and that never happened. And I opened my trailer door, and it was Emma and Daisy, and they're like, can we have a word? And it's like, oh my God, what have I done? And they were like, we've had an idea, we want Alfie to be
like a foundling. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, it completely changed the course of Alfie in the show, didn't it, over the next 3 years?
But it was good because it almost like you meet him as a person who is untroubled, because that's how he presents to the world.
It was great for me because we did scenes where now, after we've decided that, Alfie is telling Geordie about his life, and he's saying, my mum's this, my dad's that, my sister's this, but it's all a front. But actually, when I filmed that scene, we didn't know that Alfie was a foundling, so I was actually being truthful.
Yeah.
And it's only after we decided actually we wanted to be a foundling and all of that stuff was a front. But I didn't have to act it because that's what I actually thought was.
Yeah.
That's also, can I just say, obviously, because everybody hasn't seen Series 10, that's a massive spoiler that you guys have just kind of thrown in there.
Is it?
Yes. I was just like,
There you go.
wow. I went, oh.
It's a teaser. It's a teaser.
It's a teaser.
Yeah, teaser.
It's brilliant, though. Series 10 is really, really
Yeah, it's really great.
Never a spoiler, always a tease.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Chatham House Rolls.
It's fine.
Don't go tell anyone.
It's one question and we collapse. We'll tell you everything.
Oh, Daisy.
Damn it.
I mean, that is one thing, actually, just touching on, you know, this show is broadcast in America and it's broadcast here, and America is always ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good 6 months as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what's just happened here. Does that ever cause any problems?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I mean,
we
I
get
think.
fans
yeah.
online. Every time it comes out in the US and we kind of promote it on our social media, whatever, UK fans are always messaging us, why are they getting it before us? I'm like, it's not mine. I'm just the actor.
Yeah.
But at least maybe it proves that never a spoiler, always a tease.
Yes, absolutely.
The American
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Anyone else? Oh, do you know what? We'll bring you a microphone. Oh, it's almost here. It doesn't make it.
Grantchester's come to an end, as you say, but a lot of these series now have offshoots.
Yeah.
Like Morse went on to Endeavour, and Only Fools and Horses was Green Grass. Are you perhaps looking to do something like that? Pursuing another character, like the housekeeper Teta, or Al, or anything like that?
I mean,
Well, it's been a conversation, but I think was that the rap? Was that last week when we did the interviews? Everyone came in and was like, right, so this is what I think the spin-off should be.
Pitching their own spin-off.
Yeah, it's like Larry and Melissa, and then Mrs. C and Casey.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love everyone's like pick their own teams.
Back to their own horses.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know.
I do love that. That's what I love about it, though, is that I think, truthfully, at the moment, no, there aren't any plans for a spin-off show. But that's what I love the most about it, and why it's kind of, it is really bittersweet that we're finishing, because we are going out on a high, but it's also the fact that everybody is saying, I think these characters can have a life beyond this, or I can imagine these characters in the series. I really love that, because it's a testament to the characters that people have lived with for the past 11 series, and the characters that Daisy created, that it's just, yeah, there's that possibility, but no, not at the moment.
Watch the space.
Watch the
space.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Any more spoilers?
Stop it, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I forget.
Sorry. They're not going to tell anyone. Could we have a microphone here?
Yeah.
Hi, this is a question for Robson, or indeed any of you. When you've been on a... I told you I wasn't good.
You jinxed it.
When you've been on a show for so long, so many years, and it becomes part of your annual schedule, and you forge so many close friendships, how do you cope with it ending? Because I imagine it's almost like a bereavement, although that might sound a bit dramatic, but how do you, if it's like a loss, how do you cope with that?
It was so strange because we've all been in denial, and I think we still are, because we're going to still be talking about it. You know, of course, we'll be on the sofas on Lorraine and, you know, the one show and talking about it. But I just remember that final scene, and we finished it, and I said a few words, and I just looked at Emma. And I went, man. I just went. I just looked at it and just what it's meant to me in terms of, I don't know, I think I'm going to live a long and happy life. And I think, you know, one of the biggest killers in life is chronic stress and anxiety. But to turn up on a set where you just feel good about yourself, that's what I say, the comfort it brings. And we enjoy making it as much as you do watching it. That's what I'll miss. I'll miss... And maybe it's a good thing to step off that cliff again and, you know, hopefully it'll be a safety net with good writing, but I'll miss that joy and comfort and care because we looked after it. We looked after it, and as a consequence, it looked after us all. It really did. But man, I looked at Emma and I just remember that Skype call. It changed my life. We went.
But you looked after it. I mean, I remember this maybe it was last year, and we were talking about a script came in that it wasn't sometimes, talk about a thing.
Watch it, Al.
It wasn't one of yours. But we'll just go, this bit doesn't make sense. But Robson's always led from the front, and he cares not about how many lines he's got, not about his ego, not about what he's going to do for his career. He cares about what happens to Geordie and what happens to the characters and whether it makes sense in the story. He's always been so good with that. I'm sure you guys, have appreciated that. And that's what always struck me about what Robson was that this show has been a success. I mean, because of everyone, but because he's held it together with every vicar and cared about the show and cared about the quality of the show and not his own ego.
That's what I'm going to miss. I've worked on other shows where people don't care. They just, it is ego driven. And I just think this show, I don't think I'm ever going to work on anything like this again.
Oh, God.
It's really sad.
Oh, God. It's so true. It's so true.
We're going to have to get the tissues out. Right, have we got a question at the back? Could you run the mic up?
Thank you.
Oh, we've got to cover this dead air. Any...
Singing?
Oh. Well...
What? No, I think you've suffered enough.
Congratulations to you all and to the RTS for getting you all together. Fantastic. It's such a shame to have to split the team up, as you just already talked about today. And I know how difficult it is when teams split up. Did you ever consider doing a co-pro with, say, PBS in America, given the success in America, given the commissions stopped here, as I understand it? Because the rumour in the Green Man in Grantchester was that you might take it on yourselves. And do you want to tell us how much an episode it costs, as opposed to me saying what the rumour is in the Green Man in Grantchester?
Rumours in the Green Man, there's a title.
That's a whole other show. So yeah, we do. It is a co-pro with Masterpiece and has been for. It's interesting the kind of the way that the series was structured is obviously when it started, it was ITV were the majority shareholder, as it were, and they gave us the majority of the budget, and Masterpiece came in and gave us a smaller amount. And then I think it was around about series 4, series 5, when ITV weren't quite sure if their budget could cope with the show, that we actually flipped it. So the majority, which is why it goes out first in America now, is that they have the majority budget. But it's a period show, and it's a hard, period shows are expensive and they're hard to make and they're hard to, unlike some sort of a big American shows where you kind of read about they get millions and millions for every episode and it goes up every year, it goes up and up and up. That doesn't happen with a show like Grantchester, and we stay very much at a level, and it gets harder and harder to make for that budget level. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. I would, if Netflix are listening, it would be lovely for them to kind of step in and give us, 10 million an episode. That'd be lovely.
Well, I mean, if cosy crime continues to mushroom,
yeah,
you never know.
Yeah.
Right, anyone else? Probably got time for one more question. Brilliant, thank you.
Hiya, thank you for this evening. Really enjoyed it, and thanks for bringing Grantchester to us. My question is mainly, I guess, for to Daisy and to Emma, but I guess open to anybody. Do you have any tips for budding writers who love this type of genre to be able to get involved and to get noticed with regards to it?
Oh, that is a good. What you're probably more adept at this.
I would say, this is a strange thing for a TV producer to say, but I think that certainly, with the state of the industry or the shape of the industry as it is now, I think that certainly in terms of kind of crime stories themselves, I think the interesting thing is to do what James did, which is to write a novel.
Yeah, that's what people are doing now.
Yeah, because like the kind of, the intellectual property, the IP, all the TV companies are looking for those things to kind of, build their series from. So I think, and I know that they're very different disciplines, and you would say that as a writer that's very...
I know quite a few screenwriters who are now writing novels so that they can get that published, so that they can then write the script like kind of backwards, basically, because a lot of TV shows, like, they want the book first. They want to be able to go, this is recognisable and people know it and people buy it.
Yeah.
So if you want to write a novel, this one, James Runcie did it. He did it in 6 chapters, 6 murders. It was almost like he was just planning it for ITV, really.
Yeah.
And it worked because and it just nice characters plus cozy setting. But yeah, that seems to be the way to do it. And in terms of getting into telly, it's quite tricky at the moment, but BBC writers' room always do. They'll read people's stuff and
They do.
I think it's
quite. You want complex. Jimmy McGovern always says complexity in characters and simplicity in story, which is not technically true, but if you've got the characters, you can go on any journey.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's finding that that thing where what's the richness of the characters, what are their struggles, what are their likes, what are their loves, and then the story is kind of, you can take it anywhere with that. I would.
Because you're writing as well at the moment, aren't you? Everyone's writing.
But it's interesting talking to James Runcie as well. I don't know. I'm old enough to remember vicars being depicted as comical characters with false teeth. I remember we're all here remember Dick Emery and that vicar he played. So he rehabilitated vicars, and there's what a lovely thing to do. Just think of this quirk, this character, and what I would always say to actors who, when they first come into that interview room, what they are confronted with is a detective and a vicar. And always work on that premise, a vicar that is led and you care about and you love. So yeah, again, it's that right characters that you like, but as Alf says, as complexity as well.
Yeah. And also that you, I remember my grandma, she, with the Leonard storylines when he went to prison and stuff like that, like characters that like with Leonard, my grandma would always go, it's amazing. Do you remember that guy at the bottom of our street? He lived with a friend, didn't he? I wonder if they were. I bet they were, weren't they? And it was this really kind of sweet thing, these kind of people that live on your street or in your neighbourhood that you can kind of
identify
with or go, I wonder what the story of their life is,
Yeah, fantastic. Well, do you know what? We've got a couple of minutes left. Should we do a quick down the line favourite moments? Favourite moments, or something you're going to miss? Catering? I don't know.
I feel bad saying that this is a favourite moment because it's not one of yours, Rishi, sorry. But still, for me, one of the best things ever was when we covered the church in fake snow.
No.
For the Christmas episode. It was, as a producer, it was an extraordinary thing to kind of, literally stood there on our budget going, look what we did. Look what we've done in October. And it was magical and it was beautiful and it looked incredible. And I mean, that church always looks gorgeous. But yeah, for me, covering the church in snow was...
That one's very easy to find on the player because it's just there, isn't it? There's Grantchester and then there's the Christmas special. So go watch it if you haven't watched it.
The festive season is coming up. I would urge everybody to watch it. It's a standalone episode. It's very beautiful. But they're all amazing. But sorry, it's not one of yours.
I would just say all the times we were in Grantchester and the people of Grantchester and hanging out in that church, just being in Grantchester is always just my special moment, really.
She's playing to her audience.
I am. But also because, you're doing a lovely fireworks display and those, it just felt like a really special.
Yeah, I got to agree. Those, and we've been in many different places over the year. We're at the golf course, and where was that?
Oh, God.
The golf club up thingy, that was chaotic. But then, even this last series that we did, and we all just had drinks and meals, and it's just lovely that sort of being away with a crew that you're in London with. Everyone goes home to their families in the evening, but to be away together and be able to celebrate the show, and especially this time, it's lovely.
Rishi?
Oh, tough favourite moment. I think moments in terms of kind of like the same with you coming into Cambridge, but for me, the mornings, we start very early at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm very lucky enough in makeup to be sat next to Mr. Robson Green and having him come every morning and sit next to me at 6:30 in the morning. We have a chat for about half an hour with our makeup artist, and we have such a laugh, and it's such a great way to start the morning, and it kind of just sets us up for the day. I think those mornings with Robson is probably what I'm going to miss the most.
It's the it's as Rishi said, it's the laughter, and there's been so many highlights. I mean, me and Rishi, there's a thing when it's in the stage direction, they have a knowing look, and we can't do the knowing looks anymore. So we just keep laughing, and they see it in the rushes, and we can't do it, and the crew's not laughing at all, and and Chloe's here and directing, and we're just laughing. And Chloe's brilliant director, and she's going, "Will you just concentrate and focus?" And I said, "I can't." But there was one night shoot in Cambridge. In Grantchester, it was a night shoot, and it's really late, and we're up against it. And the directors, it's a burial scene. We're putting one of we're putting it in the grave, and James Norton's giving it ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and I'm standing there, and it's late, and everybody's up against it, and everybody's like grumpy. And one of the supporting artists is lowering the coffin into the grave, and he breaks wind. To it, and then he goes, sorry, chaps. And we just lost it. I mean, completely lost it. To it, the director's going, for God's sake, it's not funny. It's not funny. And we're, it is. Anyway, true. I couldn't keep it together. James couldn't keep it together. And as a result, I was kicked off the set. They put my costume on the first assistant director, and they shot it wide. And I was in my caravan still laughing. And that's a true story. But it's the laughter. It's the laughter with Al, and it's the joy of waking up every morning. I went, great, I'm working on Grantchester. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. We have all loved it. We'll continue to love it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, everyone.